fundamentally, but it doesn't necessarily change our direction. And I think that that's something that people sometimes mistake in their own self-evaluation, is the thought that, well, when I have money, I will operate differently. And my observation, my belief based on observation, is that when someone who has less has more, they don't so much operate differently as they just operate with a higher level of intensity in much the same way.
Yes. Wow. I love this. I love that this is always in my field of awareness, this accelerator. And you know why I coupled it like with faith a little bit is because I also believe that that faith, that invisible, that substance that you speak of, the invisible realm that I believe in, if I believe that if my faith is oriented to that which is noble, that which is good. And I think you posted something, I don't remember if it was on Facebook or what, and it was a verse of the Bible that says like love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast. If I have that faith and I have those strong core values in me, I really genuinely want to be of values, resolve a problem, add value to people. Perhaps, the accelerator of money will take me into being more of that, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that money gives us both opportunity and capacity. And so the things that our hearts and minds are naturally inclined to do, we can do more quickly, more deliberately, and maybe more elaborately with money, but we'll likely do much the same things.
Yeah. So when I was in your mastermind before, and we'll talk about if you have a mastermind right now or not, but you used to speak about these four pillars that I've seen a lot of people that we all emerged from the mastermind and we created our movements. I know a lot of us that emerged from there, we were able to create our own masterminds from there. You were even called, I think you were called Papa Kevin, in there. But I remember these four pillars, and I see a lot of people using the four pillars that they learned from the family mastermind. That you had the four F's, right? Faith, family, finances, and I'm forgetting one, Kevin, right now. Help me with that so we can talk about people, because I think that you are such a foundational mentor. You are such a foundational leader without telling people what to do, but you do bring this framework of foundation that helps the people that you serve. At least I know I've been served like that, to have a more solid view into what we want to create, and also to be accountable for the consequences of our choices, right? So can you speak a little bit about those four pillars?
I can, and the fourth one is fitness, but I tend to see that word a bit differently than some, and I'll explain.
Yes.
So for me, faith is the depth of our foundation. So if we're going to build a life, the greater our confidence in things that have less evidence, then obviously the more reliably we're going to be able to not be toppled when resistance comes our way. So that speaks to the depth of our foundation. Our family, many people want to build this big edifice of a life, but they don't think about the foundation. And if you live in any big city, I live in Las Vegas, lots of fairly tall buildings here, not super tall, but maybe 40 stories or so. If they begin to build a building, the first thing they do is go down and build a foundation. Only when they've completed going down, they can start going up and build, what one sees with, 30, 40 floors of visible beauty access is based on the reason that that's stable is because of a foundation. So the depth of that foundation is our faith, our confidence in our choices, our commitment to our choices. The next is our family, and I tend to take that further than people who share our DNA. Those are our vendors, those are our clients, those are the people in the neighborhoods that we walk, who we surround ourselves with, who we give and take energy from. And that's the breadth and also the stability of our foundation. There are people sometimes, if you have very few people in your circle and those people are unreliable, or you've proven yourself to be unreliable to them, there's very few places that you can operate I know, Yvonne, for me, our friendship has brought to me assets, mostly spiritual, but also just friendship, et cetera, that I wouldn't have if we didn't have our connection. So, and the more people, I know that you have that with a number of other people, listeners of this podcast, recording, and many other people, the wider that family that we build, then we have a more expansive foundation. Well, typically the wider the base of something, the deeper the base is, then it's stronger. The wider the base is, the more it can support as well. Fitness, a lot of times people think about a good looking, behind and a tight set of stomach muscles and big biceps if you're a man, and, lean figure if you're a woman or whatever. But fitness for me revolves around how fit our lives is, how fit our life is for the purpose that we're intending. And I have 3 questions with that, and that speaks to the strength of the building materials for our lives. So, this is from your bookkeeping to is your home clean? Is your car detailed? It doesn't really matter what you drive, but when you get into it and it's filthy, then that gives you maybe some sort of indication of what kind of life you've invited. If you get into it and it's clean and it smells nice, likewise. And so this is less about like how much money you have or how eloquent things are, but how fit are they for the purpose of serving your life? So I have 3 questions I ask, or 2 questions actually, and 3 responses. One, first, is it a fit? Some things just shouldn't be in our lives.
Absolutely.
And if it's not a fit, then throw it out, because there's no reason trying to make something that is not a fit. If it's clearly a square peg, it's not going to fit in a round hole, at least not, of the same size. Secondly, though, if it is a fit in our life, make it as fit as possible. And that was just talking about the, having your home cleaned or cleaning your home, making sure that you do meal prep, so that there's food in the fridge if you're doing meal plans, versus getting at the end of the day, not eating, and, then deciding what to order from Postmates. That's acceptable, but maybe not ideal. So it might be, a fit. Yes, we need food, but it's not the most fit way to do it. And so if it's a fit but not fit, then work to bring it into alignment with the standard that you hold for your own life. The third one is really important, because I think many times we're accustomed to responding to the negative. But if it is both a fit and it is fit, we should celebrate those things. And I think there are many times where we are so busy looking for the things to improve in our life that we don't take the time to celebrate the things that we're doing well. And we need that feedback. We're going to get often, many times, because people that surround us in life, many of the ones who speak out have fragile egos, may not be quite as clear on their goals or how they see us, may be seeking confrontation in order to address or heal or respond to some wound they have. And so many times a number of our exchanges aren't necessarily positive. Now, we can surround ourselves with that family, with that wide foundation, and get that, but just in general, road rage, et cetera, can bring negative feedback to us, maybe that we didn't even invite, which makes it important when we do things right to acknowledge ourselves, because if we can't acknowledge ourselves, then who else is going to acknowledge us? And that makes ourselves strong. I think that's a healthy representation of the ego. Self-congratulation. An unhealthy expression would be self-congratulation and the denigration of others. But if you're building everyone up and also building yourself up, then my goodness, please build yourself up more and more often. So there's fitness. That speaks to the strength of our edifice, the life that we're building. And then finally, finances. When we become comfortable with finances as stewards of those finances and realize that if we choose to trust our relationship with money spiritually, then we can invite more of it into our lives, because we know that the things we do with it are honorable and we can be trusted. We donate to charities, perhaps, when we find charities that are, worthy of that donation and the cause needs assistance. We can invest in other things. It doesn't have to all be spent on consumer goods, but should we spend it on consumer goods? One's got to think, if we spend something on luxury goods, let's just say, some designer that spent quite some time to be competitive had to design that. He or she needs to be paid for their labor. Somewhere that, consumer good was produced at a higher quality level and a higher expectation for quality than perhaps other, more mediocre goods. A retail store had to be manned by people who were trained to greet customers with a different level of engagement. And so all through that profit chain of events, we are rewarding excellence. So while I talk about, investing in other people's business and investing in charities and things that need help, even for those of us/you, I'll say us because I enjoy nice things. When I do invest in nice things, I am aware that it's not just a trophy to show to other people, but it is an investment in a group of people who have decided to perform at a higher level, and I want to see more of that in the world. And so even if you decide to steward some of your excess resources financially into even something that is sometimes decried among others, as luxury consumer goods, realize that that's not just a acquisition, unless you make it one. That's not just an acquisition of opulence, but it is an investment in an entire profit chain of people being held to a higher standard than the average. So there's faith, family, fitness, and finances.
I love this. This is, there you go, everyone. This is the 4F's masterclass in the podcast, thanks to the courtesy of Mr. Kevin Nation. So I want to go back into something that you just said. I had notes actually here because you taught me about the art of like deleting, right? I believe you said to me when I first met you, Yvonne, you got to choose who you make your offers. You got to diagnose, right, who you make your offers to, and then you have to know as much as who not to sell as much as what you're going to sell. So, and you briefly touched into this when you were sharing, to kind of be discerning in our services to others. Would you like to expand on this? So why do people, because we get a lot of messages in this podcast from the people in Latin America that they're giving their offers to so many people, and they're having challenges with so many people. And I always ask, so what is your avatar? What's the type of people you want to serve? And they don't know. So why is it so important to know who not to serve as to who to serve? Would you like to expand on that?
Yes. So first of all, I would like to address, from what I can tell, at least for the avatar that you're talking about, people who are leaders, and who are selling in some way leadership or information or services, or perhaps even blue collar services, landscaping, making places beautiful, painting, anything of that nature. There are really two components that I see in the value. And one is the product, and in many cases, we just talked about the product is the information or the skill level with which you deliver the service. And the second is, we'll just call that information for now, but it could be the delivery of the service if it's a service, but information and intimacy. And that's how people feel when they buy from you, how you feel when you sell to them. Now, many places who give great service can sell relatively the same goods at much higher fees just by making people feel better buying there. Restaurants are a good example. Hair salons are a great example where, at the end of the day, people may argue that the skill level is different, but also the experience can be much different in a spa type salon versus just like a quick sports type salon, and vice versa. Or a restaurant could be much the same. The same ingredients could be 10 times as much with higher level staffs at an intimacy. If you are not engaging intimately with